There are some other forms of ulcer, mainly known as the trophic ulcer. Trophic means related to metabolism or related to nutrition. That is, there may be exposure keratitis in cases of lack of thalamus, keratomalacia, that is vitamin D deficiency ulcers, okay, and neurotrophic, again that is neuroparalysis. Neurotrophic means where the nerve sensation of the corneal has gone and it has caused uh, neuroparalysis, and that causing dimness of sensations over the cornea, and in return to that you have the ulcers. So all these are trophic ulcers you may have. Also there can be traumatic ulcer, but the most important is that you need to know there are some ulcers known as the autoimmune ulcers. No? Uh, uh, Two terms are used: peripheral ulcer and Crohn's ulcer. And these are autoimmune ulcer. What is autoimmune ulcer? Because they are related to vasculitis of the perilingual vessels. Okay, and that causes peripheral necrosis of the uh, cornea with overhanging margins. And gradually uh, the necrosis was gradually it deepens and deepens, and ultimately may lead to perforations also. So in that cases it's very important that you use steroids or immunosuppressive drugs like cyclosporids, okay, in those cases, and tear substitute. These are the mainstay of treatment in these cases of autoimmune diseases. Okay. Along with that, of course, you have to add antibiotic and cycloplegics. Those are required. This also one of the things is that you need to prevent the continuous friction of the eyelid. So either trachytherapy or this has to be implanted. Okay. So another is the plictenular ulcers. These are also when I will take class now, and there will be class on conjunctiva. Plictenular conjunctivitis. Okay, so that plictenular fungal ulcers also come. In those cases also, you have to manage it properly by giving topical and drops and topical steroids. Low dose steroids also have to be given because that has also reactions to some immunogens or antigens in our body. Okay. Is it clear? Now, some degenerative conditions of the cornea is also present. Now you need to know. Okay, named as well named as Arthur senilis, as you can see from the picture, it is very common. Band-shaped keratopathy. Okay, where calcium deposits are found. It is found in the cases of long-standing cases of uveitis and old degenerated eyes. Okay, and some ectatic eye conditions known as the keratoconus, where extreme thinning of the uh, cornea along with protrusion of the eyeball, along with protrusion of the cornea is found due to extreme thinning of the cornea. This is an ecstatic condition. This management is also very properly because it induces a lot of huge myopia, retinal astigmatism, and many times central incapacity. Okay. And this is the slide that they will showing the signs of keratoconus and all. Okay. But main what you think is that the management is in early cases you prescribe glasses or contact lenses, and later we do the cross-linking procedures for corneal collagen cross-linking procedure with oil. And last option is the penetrative blepharoplasty. Okay. Another ectatic condition is the keratoglobus. So in all these cases, what ultimate in cases of treatment in cases of corneal opacity is the keratoplasty if corneal opacity is not properly managed with refractive glasses giving 6 by 18 uh, vision almost 6 by 18 part vision or not, then we have to manage it keratoplasty. Okay, either with keratoplasty. So the for optical purpose, what the keratoplasty is termed as penetrating keratoplasty. But there are some other options of keratoplasty also, non-healing corneal ulcers and all we perform therapeutic keratoplasty in just corneal perforations we perform tectonic one. That is just to manage, give supportive management to the cornea. Okay, details of this keratoplasty we will have it on our end. Okay. So I finished with you the cornea class. Now I will go on with my conjunctiva. Okay. So now I continue starting with my conjunctiva class. Again, conjunctiva, in conjunctiva you should know the somewhat little bit anatomy of the conjunctiva. Okay. Okay. So that I can discuss with you in the pathogenesis also here. Now the conjunctiva, as you can see, parts of conjunctiva, okay, palpebral, corneal, and bulbar. Okay. So what basic classification: palpebral, corneal, and bulbar. So palpebral, as you can see, that is the part of the one that covers the lids, corneal that covers the cornices, bulbar that covers the. So this is the picture. See, is it here? Now, so again, palpebral conjunctiva is again divided into three modes. Okay, the palpebral conjunctiva, that is just a lining within the lid, is again divided into the marginal one. Okay, the marginal means margin of the lid portion that covers the margin of the lid portion of the palpebral conjunctiva, the marginal one. Then the tarsal, above the marginal one is the tarsal, and the tarsal conjunctiva attached to the corneal is now named as the orbital conjunctiva. Okay. Now, the corneal conjunctiva is again divided into four: superior, inferior, medial, lateral. Okay. You need to know before that in the medial there are two structures. One is caruncle, one is plica semilunar. So what are those two? Caruncle is nothing but the skin extension of skin segment. Has the sebaceous glands and sweat glands and follicles, hair follicles. And the plica semilunaris is that is actually what you know. It is the vestigial organ because it is thought to be the extension of the nictitating membrane found in some mammals. Okay. So, remnants of nictitating membrane. So, it is actually vestigial. Now, so these are the pictures. Okay. Now, I've already told the bulbar conjunctiva. The bulbar conjunctiva connects the corneal conjunctiva with the limbus. Okay. Main thing is that the whole structure of the conjunctiva consists of epithelial, adenoidal, and the fibrous. What the epithelium is epithelium layer is squamous. that is also not known. The important thing is the adenoid. That is the main leukocyte layer giving immunity, local immunity to surface of the surface of our eye. That is the main layer that provides local immunity for the surface of the eye. And the fibrous layer, which have all the vessels and nerves of the conjunctiva. Okay. And the conjunctival glands that are present and are divided into two. Okay. That is the mucin secreting glands and accessory lacrimal glands. It's important because this mucin secreting glands is because other than the main lacrimal gland, which provides the reflex tears secretion, the other basal secretion of the tears and maximum tears secretion happens from these two layers. Okay, that is the mucin and the accessory lacrimal gland. Mucin secretory glands are the goblet cells and other glands of Nance and all. Accessory glands are the two glands of Wernicke and glands of Krause. Okay, you have it in your pictures in the book. Nerve supply. So, as that of the cornea, the nerve supply is from the thalamic division of the trigeminal nerve, the non-ciliary nerve, that is thalamic division of the trigeminal nerve. And other divisions are also involved from the group that your lacrimal nerves and infraorbital and infratracheal, supratracheal, these are also involved. Okay. Now, blood supply, through blood supply. The blood supply of the palpebral part of the conjunctiva is from the marginal and peripheral arteries, and bulbar conjunctiva from the anterior ciliary vessels. Okay, just remember that. But all those are from the ophthalmic artery only. Okay. Now, the venous drainage goes to two veins mainly, superior and inferior ophthalmic veins, which goes in the conjunctival vein. Circumferential zone of the venous drainage and ciliary veins. And the lymphatic drainage, okay, the medial ones go to submandibular glands and the lateral ones to the lateral ones goes to the preauricular lymph nodes.